Under the dazzling Miami sun, the city hummed with energy. The air was thick with the scent of salt and the occasional whiff of jet fuel. Samantha Johnson, a 34-year-old self-made billionaire, adjusted the cuff of her impeccably tailored navy suit. Her gold watch caught the light, a symbol of her relentless determination and meteoric rise to the pinnacle of the tech industry. Today was supposed to be a simple business trip to New York. For Samantha, however, life had rarely been straightforward. She was used to challenges. She had built her empire brick by brick, often against the odds, and today would prove no different. As Samantha approached her private jet, parked on the pristine tarmac, a group of uniformed crew members stood clustered nearby. Their eyes darted towards her, their hushed whispers carrying a tone of disbelief. Leading the group was Captain Thomas Sanders, a man with a rigid posture and an even more rigid mindset. His piercing blue eyes scrutinized Samantha with thinly veiled skepticism. At the base of the jet stairs, Thomas stepped forward, blocking her path with a practiced, superficial smile. "I'm sorry, ma'am," he began, his voice syrupy with insincerity. "This jet is reserved for VIPs. Perhaps there's been a misunderstanding." Samantha's eyes narrowed, her voice steady but commanding. "There's no misunderstanding," she replied coolly. "I am the VIP." Thomas blinked, his disbelief momentarily breaking through his professional facade. He quickly recovered, though, his expression morphing into a condescending smirk. "Right," he said, dragging out the word. "Let me double-check that for you. In the meantime, you can wait in the lounge." Behind Samantha, her loyal assistant Marcus bristled. The tension in his jaw was visible as he took a step forward, ready to defend her honor. But Samantha, with a calm wave of her hand, stopped him. "It's fine, Marcus," she said, her tone clipped. Turning on her heel, she strode towards the lounge, her heels clicking decisively against the pavement. The lounge was the epitome of luxury: marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and plush leather seating. Samantha sank into a chair, her expression unreadable. The opulence around her did little to soften the sting of the encounter. Picking up her phone, she dialed her legal team, her voice composed as she relayed the details of the incident. Across the room, Marcus stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows, his eyes fixed on the crew outside. Their laughter and exaggerated gestures were unmistakable mockery. Marcus clenched his fists, his frustration barely contained. An hour passed, each minute dragging on like an eternity. When the lounge doors finally opened, Captain Thomas entered, his smug expression firmly intact. "Unfortunately, the jet's owner isn't available right now," he announced, feigning regret. Samantha rose gracefully from her chair. Every movement exuded quiet power. "Good," she said, her voice icy with resolve. "We can discuss this now." Without waiting for a response, she strode past him, Marcus trailing closely. At the foot of the jet stairs, Samantha reached into her bag and pulled out her credentials, presenting them with effortless authority. The crew froze. Their confidence evaporated, replaced by wide-eyed shock. "This is your jet?" Thomas stammered, his face draining of color. "Indeed," Samantha replied, her tone sharp and unwavering. "And as of this moment, you and your team are dismissed. Gather your belongings and leave immediately." One by one, the crew filed out, their earlier arrogance replaced by humiliation. Samantha stood tall at the top of the jet stairs, her gaze unflinching as she watched them leave. Once they disappeared from sight, she allowed herself a brief smile. But her work was far from over. Samantha pulled out her phone and contacted her PR team. Within minutes, cameras were set up to document the incident. As the crew's departure was captured on film, Samantha's commanding presence at the top of the stairs became a powerful image, a symbol of justice served. The video went viral within hours. Hashtags like #KnowHerName and Privilege Exposed trended worldwide, igniting conversations about systemic racism and discrimination. Public outrage grew, forcing the airline to issue an apology filled with corporate jargon and hollow promises. But Samantha wasn't satisfied with mere words. At a press conference the next day, she stood before a global audience. Her voice was calm, but firm as she addressed the issue head-on. "This isn't just about me," she began. "Even with wealth and success, we are not immune to prejudice. This is a systemic issue, and it's time we confront it." Her words resonated, sparking a wave of support from around the world. 2 weeks later, Samantha launched an initiative called Open Skies, aimed at making the aviation industry more inclusive and equitable. The program offered scholarships for aspiring pilots from underrepresented backgrounds, mandatory diversity training for staff, and mentorship opportunities to dismantle systemic barriers. The response was overwhelming. Letters poured in from former crew members eager to join the movement. Samantha welcomed them, knowing their insights could help drive real change. As for Captain Thomas and his team, their careers came to an abrupt end. Public outrage ensured they became cautionary tales, a stark reminder that discrimination carries consequences. On her first flight under the Open Skies initiative, Samantha boarded her jet with a diverse and enthusiastic crew. Their faces reflected her vision of equality and her commitment to building a better future. Settling into her seat, Samantha gazed out at the endless horizon. This journey wasn't just about reaching New York. It was about breaking barriers and creating a world where everyone had a fair chance to soar. Samantha's story became a beacon of hope and a call to action. It wasn't just a tale of one woman's triumph over prejudice. It was a movement that inspired change across industries. Her resilience and determination proved that no barrier was too great to overcome, and no injustice was too small to challenge.